man. I can't believe I'm regretting not watching more isekai anime. How the heck do I get back to the real world? Oh.
From the skies we came, fallen angels to the ground, carried upon the winds like leaves to the grass. We two are one, never alone, never ever forgotten, forever left to roam. We dream of the skies, the stars, the planets, and the very hot sun thrown out from heaven. We two are one, never alone, never ever forgotten, forever left to roam. Raise our flags high, call the warriors out. Come see our brave ones, forgotten but never undone. We two are one, never alone, never ever forgotten, forever left to roam. Reach again for the heavens, forget the lost ones, fight on for them until the end We two are one, never alone, never ever forgotten, forever left to roam.
Welcome to the Monkey Show. I am your host, the Monkey King. Hopefully you are all hearing me all right out there. This is an impromptu stream and wasn't really planning to, but I'm here busy doing some work, and I thought, you know what? Why not just do a little bit of a stream? I was checking if anybody that I liked following was around, and there was nobody was live. So I thought, well, why not I just jump on for a bit? And show what I'm working on here. So this is from my artist on the tortoise. Yeah, the tortoise. Man, I've had a crazy week because I thought today was Friday, and it isn't. But like the other day, I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah, so Tuesday I had a 5 hour meeting. It might have, yeah, about 5 hour meeting, like a live video meeting, and then that sort of like made me really worn out because I stayed up all night to be able to make the early meeting because it had to do with my business partners over in the US, and so I was up through the night and then joined the meeting around about 9 and didn't finish until about maybe about 3 o'clock in the afternoon or something. And by that time, I was just totally like my brain, right? Because I've had so many concussions over the years, over my 50 years of life, right? That my brain now, after a certain amount of time, just starts getting worn out. So I decided that you know we'd stop that, and then we'll carry on the next day. And then the next day, I woke up and had a migraine. So so then I said, okay, we can't do the meeting. I was going to say, well, let's do the meeting as soon as I wake up and I knew what time I'd wake up. And so, we delayed it. And then so I woke up and I went, hey, let's have a meeting in an hour. And that was like about 5 hours, 6, 7 hours later. And so I had another 3 hour meeting. And that sort of made me think that today was actually Friday, for the US and not actually Wednesday for the US. And so it threw me all out. So, yeah, it just messed me up. But anyway, you don't want to hear all that. So I just want to show some work I'm doing here that my artist, Tomas, all right, who's been working with me for about a year or so, that we've been putting together to do this awesome work with stickers as part of like we've been working on mangas, right? Manga work, but which you can basically see here, both of them in the stream there, in the live chat. You can see the link to the webtoon, which is missing a couple of pages because webtoon doesn't allow for nudity or certain things. And so because this is a horror manga slice of life, and has some scenes that are horror related, they didn't want that to be on the stream on their site. So even after I censored it, it still wasn't happening. So what I did was I started a Ko-Fi app where you could actually just go and read it there, right? And it's available whether you decide to throw some coins our way or not. You can read it there, and it'll have all the uncensored pages and so on. And so you don't have to miss out on any pages, because over at Webtoons, and I'm grateful for Webtoons, because like back in the day, you could do whatever you wanted, and you could put your work online, and it wouldn't really matter what you were putting out. And a lot of things have gone, a lot of people have put out stuff in the past few years. Early on, like I started putting my stuff out around about, I think about, on Facebook, it would have been around about 2008, maybe 2009. But I don't have that. Facebook page anymore, right? Because I had went through this really, horrible situation that I wish upon no one, and so I deleted everything and lost all my work and stuff. And we've never been able to find some of that stuff because once you delete, it deletes, right? Some of the stuff I do have a backup, but at the end of the day, it's you move on, you do work, you upgrade, and all that, right? So we put out a lot of stuff early on, like as I mentioned, as early as 2009 that I can think of. online that I was working on, stuff that I had others work for me on, and stuff I was trying to do myself. But now, I've got artists that help me, and through Rising Sun Comics, who bring might as well share that link with Rising Sun Comics as well. So that has helped me, actually have bring on awesome people to work with me, as well as provide me a variety of creatives. So this is the website you can go to check out our stuff, as well as a lot of other people's stuff. And this is stuff that we've actually put out already, right? So you can check that out here on Rising Sun Publishing .shop. I'm actually part of that company, so announcements will be coming more, in the future as my part in there. But there's some amazing work that's out here, in fan comics and stuff, and original works. There's some really, really good stuff coming out from Rising Sun Comics that a lot of people aren't aware of, because, when you're a small publisher, the big names, big companies get all the, have all the money to do that, right? To announce all the work that they are able to produce, whereas we got to do what we can do, as a small press, to bring our work out to the public, and usually that is through Kickstarter, which is what we're going to be talking about now. Because a lot of times, unless you have a really cool, support base of financials, or if you're working full time, which I'm unable to, which is why you see me on here most of the time and constantly working, is that you're able to get support through smaller publishers, but you got to do the work yourself, bring it to them and go, here's my work, I'd like to produce it for you guys. How do I go about it? Or do you have revenue to make it work, to help with funding and publishing and stuff like that, and printing costs? So there are some amazing work here that I'm hoping that people will be more aware of, and become more aware of, that's out here from Rising Sun Comics. Also, we have actually 3 different comic books that's going to be released through Kickstarter this year, actually next month, which is Incredigo #1. Let me just pop over there. I mean, #2, I should say, which is over here. And once it kicks in, there we go. So this was #1, was put out in 2 years ago, right? October 2 years ago. We got it out to everybody. We had 38 backers for our first comic. That's pretty cool, right? Nobody knew who I was, or what we're creating. We made our 1K, or I think it was goal. I learned a lot by doing this comic, this first project. It taught me, what you need to do to be successful, and what you need to do to, to basically not try to overdo things, I think, or overpromise and stuff. At the end of the day, as people who work part-time or as hobbyists to try to get out, what we desire and what we have a passion for, which is like comic books, right? And that's the medium I'm working on, is that sometimes you have high hopes, right? I think everybody has high hopes, and you should have high hopes, but you also got to be pragmatic, right, about what you're doing. And I think a lot of people, and especially myself, thought that, there are, that this would be a very, very hugely successful thing, but I don't even know, that where I should have spent the money promoting stuff. I learned that Facebook isn't where you spend your money promoting stuff, right? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I am glad that we got it, that we got where we got to, and also, we got one made that was actually successful, right? But now we're coming back with number two. So this is going to be number two as well as number one, because it's an all ages comic book. It's going to be run through, you know, Rising Sun Comics publisher page, right? So this is the. Let me get a link for that for you guys. So when you guys do go to check us out, that you guys know where we are. So there's a link for that. Now let's pop out of there and leave that alone. So the ones where we're going to be promoting, where we're going to be releasing our comic books on for the Tortoise and for Howler, because we're going to be putting out two comics at the same time to save backers on, backers on freight costs, because man, freight costs just gotten huge. And the thing I've noticed is that even though everything's sort of back to normal, we're still having to deal with, we're still having to deal with COVID times. And that was like, what, 5 years ago, right? But we're still having to deal with COVID inflation and payments and tariffs and all this. And I think it's just gotten to a point where we've, I wish everything was back to normal, like grocery prices and everything. But I guess the people at the top are enjoying, ripping us off with, with costs and stuff. So it's kind of like, you can't really do anything because you're not, you're not a multi-billionaire, and so you can't set pricing and so forth. So this is actually work that Tomas has done as part of the Kickstarter campaign that we're going to do for the turtle, right? So this is we're talking about what sort of stuff we should put out as stickers, because that's what we're talking about today, right? The stickers. So for Kickstarter, right? And so I thought I just wanted some. I said to Tomas, I said, "Hey man, let's just do something cute, right? And something just colorful. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be, that's going to help. That's going to be, you can put anywhere, right? You don't have to worry about the content and stuff. So this is a Komodo, and this is Marlowe the tortoise, right? The turtle. That is the main kind of like the theme of the story. And so let me pop this the other way again. This is Amber, and these are like drawings that, illustrations that Tomas sent me. Now you've got Kirsten here, right? And then you've got, let me see. Yeah, there we go. So you've got Kirsten here, and you've got Amber here, a fiance, or vice versa. And then you got Marlowe here being fed lettuce. And the next one, there's six all up. Oh, there's 5 of them. So then you've got Marlowe, a bit older looking, right? With wearing, you'll see the colors soon, but wearing the, the warrior headpiece with feathers in it, and then you with a spear, right, from this tribe that they've gone to visit. And then you've got here with a bit more, aggressive stance. So you got two stances here. You got him here, we're looking cool, kind of like, and macho, but here you got like him like a warrior. So these were the illustrations that Tomas interpreted of what I was asking for, right? So now let me see what I missed here, because I know I've got 4 open. but I need to open one more. So this is the one I was telling you about, like how the headpiece has got the coloring here, because that's what, the feathers from that region. There are birds that have these feathers on them, so I kind of want that color. And then we've got this one here with the kiss colored, and then here with like their names, and then with the lattice. So you can see here, right, with the lattice one, is it this one, right? So you just got this, but then I added the names of it because I thought it'd be cool to have names, and these aren't that big, right? So these are actually 4 by 5 inch stickers. And so the thing was here that, if we just gave you stickers and didn't know who they were, you'd be like, oh, they're just two normal, whatever, two girls, anime style girls feeding a turtle, right? But by having the names there, I thought that'd be cool, and to be able to showcase and let you guys know who they are. So Tomas is going to come on soon. I think he said it's about a couple of minutes. And then then we're going to have him talk about this. So the reason you can see all the gray dots in the back is because it's a it's a clear a PNG style, so it's transparent, I should say, not clear. So what I wanted to do, and the reason I've done this, is that these will be like the clear background, so you could just take it on and put it onto anything. And so rather than just having a white background or whatever background, and here I'm just got this red here to show, what it would look like if you put onto a white or red background, right? So whatever color you put on, it'll come through. And so what I wanted to do here is like, I'm trying to figure out whether, there we go. We got Tomas in the background. Let me do introduction. Let me see. Here we go.
An expert biologist, and when this handsome fellow isn't traveling across the world doing research, he's at home cooking a great meal?
But yeah, that's all true, but Sancho, where did you get that?
An excellent assistant knows how to write an excellent introduction. You got it, boss.
Or taking a long walk on the beach? Who wrote this mess?
Hello, Tomas. How you doing?
Hey, hello, how's it going? Sorry for the delay. Just the
All
improvisation.
Yeah, all good. No, I mean, like, this is impromptu, right? Like, I wasn't even gonna do it, and then I was sitting here going, well, why not do it and just come on and talk about stickers, because this is the first time I'm actually, usually I get the stickers we did in the past. It's like about 4 or 5 years ago, right? That I did it with Shane, and so I thought maybe why not just get you on, have a bit of discussion about what we do with this, and then also just show people.
Yes, because I don't know when we came with the idea of the stickers, but it was like, hey, it's gonna be good also for sometimes you want something more than only the comic. Maybe, for example, I want a sticker of Spider-Man or whatever. And for me, I just seen the colors you put in there, and it's like, oh man, it's amazing. It's even better than I thought.
Yeah, well, like when I was like coloring this, I was thinking like, how do I make it so that it's a bit more calmer, a bit more pleasant looking than just it's like, because the story, like the comic itself, gets quite dark, right? And I thought, well, why can't we have some cool little cutesy little things where the characters are a bit more fun and a bit more happy, and because in issue 1 they are quite happy, right? They have some good moments and stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, let's do that.
Yeah,
Carry on. Sorry,
I'm sorry, I love the Komodo dragon sticker. It was a very bit difficult, but
Mm.
I really love it.
Yeah, so yesterday I was doing this and I thought like, well, why not put the names of the characters in, right? Because
Yeah.
nobody will know who they are. What's this turtle? What's this Komodo dragon? And so I decided to like go put the names in. But I was going to ask you, did you want to like, let me show you this. So do you want to leave these with the flat colors, or do you think do you want to add some more colors to like do shading to lift them all up?
Oh, that's a good question because for me, like this, with the names on the back and the flag colors, I think it's for me it's really good because I see it like a sticker that I can use on my sketchbook or even in a writing book, or I have how you call it? I have the the Stanley, how you call it, the big bottles when you put hot water in it and it's
Oh,
like
right,
warm.
right. So yeah, drink bottles. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Also, I can put that sticker on a drink bottle, and for me, it's like uh, I can make a try if you want. Because also, I was thinking, yeah, maybe if we can do a small one, for example, one layer of shadows, we can try it out.
yeah. So it's not so so it still has this little this these tones here where it just lifts it up. This looks cutesy, right? But then if
Yeah.
you have a small amount of shading, it lifts it up. But so these are transparent. So the background's actually transparent.
Yeah.
So they're going to look really cool transparent. That's why I put these white outlines on them. And then I went across and then did another white outline over the top of the lettering. So I'll show you what I mean here. So
Oh yeah.
let me see. So this is the white outline just over the just behind the names here and the characters, and then on top of that, bigger white outline over this. I need to do some cleanup here. Um, and then also, you've got the thicker lines again.
Yeah.
So when you have this, that like sometimes like stickers that can tend to like rip into this when people are trying to take it off. So I thought if I have the white, thick white outline, it won't, people won't be able to rip it, or get, creased or something like that when they try to put it on. So
Oh yeah. Yeah.
there's that one, and then you've got this one. Excuse me. Just gonna off.
That one.
Yeah, so this one I'm going to show you how I do the outlines, right? So, you've got this one
Oh,
here.
okay. Yeah.
So I don't know if I should have Kiss in there, right, or just have Marlowe.
Yeah.
And if I have Marlowe here, if I make him his name Square rather than Clark and Marlowe, like this, and put it behind it or something like this, like playing around with the lettering,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
But
or
but the
whether
ball.
that works or not, right?
Yeah, I think we have to make it like some try and error. But yeah, I think that
Yeah.
works. Yeah, yeah, for the composition. Yeah.
But it's kind of I didn't even think about doing what I'm doing here with this until I started, looking and thinking about it, how to make it so it sticks. So because I want to go transparent, you have to like give it enough solid body, like I was saying, so it doesn't rip into this. So if
Yeah.
you go, so you got to have a thick outline, and so it sticks out from whatever you're going to stick it on, like your drink bottle, right?
Yeah. So it's not that full transparent because.
Yeah. So with this, let me show you what I did with I'm going to duplicate this and get rid of that, get rid of that. So this is and that. So what I do here is I go in and grab all these you know around here like this, every white space, and then go in with like about 50% in. So you can't see my tab that just opened up, but it's like
Yeah.
shrinking it in 15%, right? So now you
Oh,
can see
okay.
the thickness of line.
Yeah.
So the line goes in there, and then I go in and I delete that, and now you've got your line around it.
Oh, that's nice to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it before, and now it's here. So then after that, we've got the next one, which is to put a white outline around these two. I mean, the characters. So when we do the laddering, it's going to be a different again. So now we go 10% outline, right? So first you had 50, and now you
Yeah.
got 10. Once again, shrink down to 10%. It's weird, like doing this and learning how to, why stickers work a certain way, why it doesn't. And I saw one of my friends who I bought a T-shirt and stickers off, and he was doing these outlines, and I thought, oh, that's what I should do. Do actually outlines, but go a bit further and highlight them a bit more. So now when you got this, right,
Yeah.
it will look better when you let me see. Actually, no, not this one. Not that one. So here's your thin outlines, right? Your
Yeah.
10%. So I got to remove this and make another white base. Hey, what you been up to, by the way? I just should ask you that.
Oh yeah, it was like checking out the pages for volume two, just redoing some work,
Mm,
and like experimenting new ways to draw. To okay, let's try this, let's try that.
mm.
And trying not to get out of the style of the manga to not cause any like style problems. But I was trying to make some working adjustments so I can work even faster and trying to
Yeah,
know okay I can do this thing maybe with three steps less I can make this even better
yeah.
and trying to think okay how I can tell this scene and studying everything. So volume two is gonna so I can bring more tools to volume two and make even more interesting the things we are doing.
Yeah, I think once you've got your feel for how the characters look and your style, right? As you figure out exactly what you want, you can actually slim down your what is it your timing, right? Because you know how you've learned how to do shortcuts and stuff, which you were trying to, and I'm the same, right? Like with this, once I've figured
Yeah.
out how to do one, the next one goes faster, right?
Yeah, I think it's, that has a connection with the things we talked the last streaming. That when you want to do your things at your way, it's like faster than trying to do the things another way.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it's really cool. Yeah, and it was like more excited of trying things out. I was like, oh, I have to show this to Aru. So what he thinks.
Yeah, I think it's all like it's really the good side of like doing art is that you are constantly learning new stuff and constantly upgrading your skills, right? Otherwise, if you're not doing that, then you're going backwards. And I think a lot of times people get stuck because they go backwards, and
Well,
or they question themselves too much.
yeah.
And while they question themselves too much, they slow down their actual workload, and so they end up like going, oh, it's taking too long, I don't know, I don't feel like doing it anymore now, and next thing you know they're not doing any work, and so and they're getting frustrated. Whereas if you just keep doing it and keep doing it, you'll get better at it. And I think that's a better way to do things than to question yourself all the time.
Yeah, even I think there's a subject that mostly it doesn't get into art discussions and everything. But
Mm,
sometimes, even if you know everything, there is a difference between the things you know and how you can apply them.
right.
And for example, if somebody can talk to me about color theory, I know everything in the theory, but when I want to practice it, I don't know how to put it into practice. So
Right.
nobody talks about that gap, and it's, as you say before, people say, "Oh, this is taking too long. No, I don't want to do this anymore," and they quit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm on the practical side. If you keep showing me, like if you show me how to do something, I'll be able to grasp how to do that. But if you tell me to read a book and try to get it from that, I can't. Right? It's just
Yeah,
art is that way. You have to see it to be able to understand it. And so everybody's always like got an idea of what something should be and how it should be done. And but you just got to do things right, because if you don't do it, then you're not going to get anywhere if you don't do any work, and you're not
yeah,
going to learn if you're not doing anything right.
yeah. Or even some people, for example, in my case, sometimes when I was practicing art, I was like, "Oh, I have to make this piece or this practice. It has to be perfect. I have to finish with a perfect piece or something." And it's not gonna be like that. You're gonna do like a lot of crappy things all the time,
Mm,
and there are even times that, for example, for me, I didn't know what I was doing wrong, but
yeah.
I was just keep drawing. I was just okay. Let's keep drawing, and maybe in the I don't know, maybe in the 100 tried, I was like, oh, now I get it. I was doing this wrong.
Yeah.
And some people talk about it, how to cut corners and avoid to making these mistakes. And it's like if you don't put the practice and you don't work, even if it goes wrong and you don't know what you're doing about it, you're not gonna get the results. For example, I don't know if I'm making myself clear here. Like, for example, sorry, I had to try this drawing 100 times, and maybe somebody can say, "Oh, you lost a lot of times trying those 100 times," and I
Right.
say, "Yeah, but if I didn't do those 100 times, I couldn't figure out this mistake. So it was worth it at the end."
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with it's similar to logo designs, right? You can like some people, because they have a good idea straight away in their head, if they've already worked out what the look of it will be, they can do it faster. But if I mean, like I've done like about maybe 20 logo designs before I was happy with one, right?
Yeah,
And so, s- just like with character designs, you got to keep at it until you feel like that's how it should look, and how you're happy with it, because you're going to see that over and over again. And if you're not happy with it, you're going to find that you're not going to be happy with it every time you draw.
yeah, exactly. There's sometimes that happens that you are okay. For example, you make a logo and you say, "Oh, I really like this logo," and there's like a small voice in your head that says, "Yeah, but you can try this too. Try to
Yeah.
modify this part." And it's not like for example, you're satisfied with the first logo, but there's something else in your mind that tries to say to you, "Try something else." And I
And
think that's funny.
yeah, I think that's just the way, like, you I think as artists we get to a stage where we know that we got to keep trying until we get things right. And a lot of times people don't understand that that can slow us down. But if you've been doing the same thing over and over again for years, it shouldn't you should already know how, what to expect from your own work, your own ideas and stuff.
Yeah.
And what's the easy way to design your characters. And I think a lot of people get frustrated because they don't design their characters to make it simple. They make it really complicated, and so
Oh
it
yeah,
takes them too long to draw in the end.
yeah, yeah. I think, in my personal opinion, I think that that thing of making characters really complex is like a bad behavior from the comic books, because it's like this thing of, oh, I have to make my character the coolest character in the world, so I have to put in weapons, armor, equipment, everything. Like maybe, like for example, Cable in the '90s, that he has like the small backpacks, the belt bags. He has
Yeah,
bags all over his body, and was you say maybe in one illustration it works really well, but if you have to
yeah.
repeat it in 21 pages, it's like you're gonna become crazy.
That's the thing, right? So even when I'm designing characters, I kind of look at like, wait, even though like I mean, I'm mocking up characters for my artist to design, I kind of go, well, how do I got to make sure this is simple so it can be repeated easily, right? Because otherwise, if it's not repeatable and gets complicated, the more difficult the design of the character is, the longer it's going to take. And unless you're the one who came up with the design,
Yeah,
you won't anybody else taking over to work on it or hired to work on it is going to take forever, and it's going to slow you down, and it's going to slow down your process. That's why,
yeah,
like, once you guys design up the characters, I go, let's go. I know you guys are ready for it, and you guys have worked out how how easy, like, I don't want this character here to look really complicated, right?
yeah,
Because you got to do it like 1,000 times, for
yeah,
each freaking panel. Like, sorry, not 1,000 times, but throughout the comic book, for the issues, you might have to do it 1,000 times over and over again. And the more difficult it is, the more frustrated you're going to get of trying to get it right every time.
yeah. And also in the clue, a lot of people say that a good character design is one that you can recognize from the silhouette, and that's all.
Yeah,
And I was remembering when you're talking about the character designs, and when someone else designs a character and someone else has to draw it. I was listening to a podcast about this Italian artist called Matteo Scalera. He works for Marvel and everything, and
hmm
he was saying one time he has to draw the Incredible Hulk with some kind of magical armor, and he says it was like a really pain, because it has this kind of panels in the back and in shoulders, and it's like kind of World of Warcraft armor, and he was like really angry at the creator because he said, this is impossible.
yeah, yeah. Because
He-
it's going to take them so long to do each one of those friggin' panels, right? Each one of those
yeah,
plates and so on. And the problem is, this is the thing, like with I think a lot of times writers complicate the art too much of the character designs. And I when I am actually designing characters, I think about, how is this going to look when somebody decides to cosplay it, right? How hard is it going to be to design the cosplay for this character if somebody ever decides to do it? So, like when it comes to weapons, I usually use Nerf guns, right, to keep it simple, so they could actually, redesign and model up their Nerf gun to look like the weapon that I'm using. And or like having a simple little friggin' spear, right, for one of the
oh yeah,
warriors. It makes it easy, because otherwise, it's like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do this, and it's like, wait, not only is it's not going to look practical, someone wearing that costume or making it's going to cost them money to actually come up with the design and everything. But also, as an artist, you're going to get frustrated having to add in all those little bits and pieces that should not even be necessary a lot of time.
yeah. Even including if you have to make like for example, like foreshortening page, like
Mm,
for example, I saw like a lot of once again cable illustrations, and there are ones with when where he has like this big massive gun with a lot of cables in it and switches and energy things, and you say how you gonna draw this in the next 15 pages.
Mm, mm.
And also, like you say, if somebody wants to make the cosplay, like how are you gonna do it?
Yeah, it's got to be. You got to really think about the practicality of the art, right? Of the design work. If it's not practical in real life, then it's not going to work as as a. I know people say, well, it's fantasy and you can do whatever you want with it, but really, in the age of like movies and cartoons, right, and live action, what have you, is that all these things have to have a practical look to them and practical you know, design to them. Otherwise, they just look really bad on screen.
Yeah, for example, what happened to the World of Warcraft movie? The armors were really like weird.
Let me. I'm just gonna go grab the a trailer for World of Warcraft because I
Yeah,
think it'll give us a good idea of
yeah. I was
because
thinking also in Edge of Tomorrow, the armors of Edge of Tomorrow.
wait, Edge of Tomorrow is from the manga, isn't it?
Yeah, the I think the name was All You Need Is Kill.
Yeah, because that's going to be all you need is kill is going to be is actually um, animated. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
going to do it.
yeah. I
Yeah,
saw that. I think it's the same team behind. I think this anime called uh, Tekken Kinkret. I think.
yeah. It's let me bring it up here. Where is my screen? Right. Let me switch that to over here. So because I was really surprised when I saw this, I was like, man, because I started reading the manga and I want to buy it, but I was able to get a digital copy of it, and I was like, oh, this is coming out. So I was really surprised that this was going to be there. You know, but I'm looking forward to this because hopefully it's like the actual manga, right?
Yeah, I hope because I think the movie they took their own liberties to make some things in the movie was a really good adaptation. But maybe if they continue with the source material, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, they did take a lot of artistic license with it, but yeah,
Yeah,
oh, and plus, yeah, Tom Cruise, right? He doesn't, yeah, the character does, the actual characters look quite different in the manga.
死はむしろ味方だ。私だけは何が起こるか分かってる。ゲームみたいなもんじゃん。どうせ何回でも生き返れるんだ。この後ダロルから化け物が出てきてみんな殺されちゃうんだ。お前酔っ払ってんのちょっと待ってこれ。誰あんた。何を知ってんの。
君が死んだら俺も戻るんだ。朝に。
奴が私たちを乗っ取ろうとしてんならそれより先にやるしかない。
まだだ。目を開けろ。
明日は自分が作るんだって。
So it's already out. I'm quite surprised. I
Yeah.
thought, I wonder if it's going to be a movie, right? Because they say it's IGN movie trailers. So let me see what they're saying. Oh, before I was watching an episode of Tatsuki Fujimoto 1726. Have you heard of that?
I think not. I have to check out my anime list. There's a long time I didn't watch some anime. I was a bit lost.
Yeah.
There
So
was-
it's sorry, it's by the writer of what's Chainsaw Man, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the same guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
don't know.
it's got a
Yeah,
7-point rating on let me on IMDb for this anime. I mean the movie, sorry. It's an hour and a half, which is kind of like they should have made a TV show series, right? Instead of a movie for All You Need Is Kill, because it just doesn't look like they could do all that in hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, and also I think it's gonna be like a prequel, the story of they call the Full Metal. I don't remember the full surname they use for the female character in the manga.
Yeah, because I thought it was a guy that it starts off with, and now they've got the girl there. So let me see if we get some manga images.
Yeah, because I think this is gonna be like a prequel because it's the story of the girl, and in the manga, that girl appears later.
Right. Because when I was reading it was like about the guy, so I was like, wait, how does she appear now?
We don't have Tom Cruise this time.
Yeah. But I mean, I did love that. I did love Edge of Tomorrow. I thought it was a really well done.
Yeah.
I was very happy with it.
It was
But yeah,
like even if even that some people watch the movie without knowing it was like a manga adaptation. It was like a really good sci-fi movie.
yeah, yeah. So Ryusuke Takeuchi, and Takashi Obata is the illustrator. So
Yeah, I think it's the same guy from Death Note.
yeah, Death Note, Bakuman, Platinum End. I don't think I've watched. Did they make a manga for? I mean, sorry, anime for Platinum End? Yeah, they did. I wonder what. Huh.
I didn't know about that. I only know about Bakuman, and that's all, and Death Note also.
Yeah, Bakuman's the one about the guy who's writing a manga, right?
Yeah, it's like some people say a love letter to the industry, and some people say like the harsh truth of being a mangaka.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, every week you got to have workout. I think that's
Yeah.
like. I don't think any American mainstream creator, writer, artist could handle what mangakas, manga artists, creators actually do. The amount of work they do. I don't think Americans could handle it. They'll be gone.
Yeah, even sorry, continue. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a post just yesterday where this guy hadn't been given a raise in 15 years. He's an artist for DC Comics. 15 years, bro. No raise.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard a lot of those stories. I think it was with Arthur Adams that they say that some I don't know which company they didn't pay him royalties because of a character he made, and that character appeared in one of the movies. I don't remember if it was Batman or the X-Men. And the guy said he was like really upset about it because these people, the
Yeah,
the people who
they
manage
make
everything,
millions. Yeah, they
yeah,
make hundreds of millions of these characters that somebody else has created, and they get nothing, right? And this
yeah.
sucks, man.
So they make like millions and millions of dollars and money, and it's like we are not asking to give us all the money. Just give us the fair share for creating the character.
Yeah, just royalties is what will keep them, their insurance bills paid, medical bills paid, and because at the end of the day, you want people to go, produce more work for you, right? So if you treat people right, they'll treat you right, and they'll do work for you. That's like, that's good work. This is what I find like about a lot of mainstream artists and writers is that they put shoddy work out because they get shoddy pay, right? Especially in the writing arena um, with Marvel and DC, and you can see that in the work, right? It's not like it suddenly just becomes bad. It becomes bad over time because they're getting paid by the page, by the
Yeah,
words, right, or whatever it is, or title, not by the amount of words they put in there. This is why, like for me, I always like to put in like um, lots, an effort into the work, because that means that when the reader actually spends their good hard-earned money, that they get something actually worthy of their value, right? I mean, the money they put into it. But I think, but I can see why there isn't that much effort put into Marvel and DC now with the amount of money they pay to their creative people. But then they take that and make hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes, and sometimes tens of millions of dollars. But at the end of the day, they get more than the creators do anyway. And I was like that with early on when you know, when I
yeah,
went out to do work for they call it like call out service. My boss would get $55 and I would get $12 an hour, right? Um, and I can understand that, because it means that like by me not being in the, because, and I understood that, right? But I because my by me not being in the store, I would have lost him about maybe $1,000, right? So
yeah.
he's trying to somehow balance it out, because if somebody walked in that store that time that I wasn't there and I could have made $1,000 sale, that $55 of buffering in that 1 hour is enough. But then you look at these guys who make millions of dollars for like, something they got paid $250 for or something. That doesn't
Yeah,
make sense at all, right?
I think so. Yeah, but also that I think maybe there's this thing you call that the quality or even of drawings and stories is getting worse because maybe there's this thing that for me, in my personal opinion, is like, oh, we are Marvel. I don't care if we write some crap. Everybody's gonna buy it because it's Marvel. It's the big
Yeah.
Marvel. It's like I think the industry now is like not right now, but it's like you have DC or Marvel, and when you want to approach indie comics like us or in some other industry, like the same system it takes you out from there from like, oh no, because we are the mainstream, we have the most famous characters, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
and it's like a loop. And it's, for example, oh, this is all we have, sorry, we're not gonna make anything else because you don't have anything else.
Yeah. There is also the thing where like they do set the standard, and because they set the standard, they can price how much they pay people, but that they can price it because they can afford to, right? It's not their money
Yeah,
anyway. Most of the money is from Disney. Comics don't make Marvel that much money. I think actually it probably costs them to make comics at this stage, where they actually make money is in merchandising and film and
Yeah.
stuff. Because comics, it doesn't cost that much to make, and then to think, to understand that they don't even pay their artists and writers and letterers, whatever, enough money anyway, shows that these guys are making a lot of money on the backs of hard work from others, but they themselves don't care because their money is being made from, is being made from, where is it? From, from Disney, right? From streaming,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So they don't really have to worry about what paying or losing money in comics, because that's just getting more characters that they can use elsewhere, right?
Yeah, because maybe they make one comic for one new character, and maybe 6 months later you have like a streaming show on Disney Plus, and it's everyone's happy.
Yeah, and then off their character, now they make millions of dollars because now they've got toys, they've got books, they've got graphic novels, they've got cups. What is it like? Sticker, not sticker, sorry, sticker, yeah, sticker sets, right?
Yeah,
Pencils, erasers, all the stationery, drinking, drink bottles, all the
yeah.
stuff that you can think of, bed sheets off that one character. Not to mention now they're gonna go put them in the, in video games as well, and then
Oh
the
yeah,
video games will make millions of dollars as well.
yeah. That's true.
So they really know how to. I mean, that's what capitalism is. That you're able to make money out of, a certain amount of good stuff. But that doesn't like. The thing is, they don't share that profit with their own, workers, and that's what I think is destroying them. Is because nobody wants I mean, the only reason people go to Marvel and DC, I don't think they do it because they're because they're getting paid well. They only do it to make a name for themselves, so that when they leave, they have a name outside to go out and do better, right?
Yeah,
Or get that, or get that royalty check if they can get that royalty check.
yeah. It's the royalty, or the sorry, the prestige of, oh, look, he worked for Marvel, he worked for
That
DC.
Yeah,
I
that whole name thing, right? The branding.
yeah, I cross with I talk with people who work for Marvel and DC, and I was like, why did you quit, or why did you left Marvel or DC? Because
Yeah,
you know that when you want to work there, you have to qualify certain aspect, like, oh, you need to have a Marvel or DC art style to enter, or you have to manage the DC or Marvel style to writing. You have
mm,
to have check this list of abilities before you get in. And some people, like, I say, oh, you can stay there for a long time because I saw your pages, your script and everything. And then there's some people like they didn't want to go on.
yeah,
um, and even for example, I was thinking about it. Yeah, because for example, before, when you work at Marvel or DC in the 90s, in the first era, the golden era,
yeah,
you needed to go to the office to write. You needed to go to the office to draw. You have the table there. You have all the materials there to write,
yeah,
draw, ink, copy, everything. Now you have to work from home, and you need to buy your computer. If you work on computer, you need to buy your
yeah.
own stuff. And the main offices of Marvel and DC right now are only for meetings, paperwork, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I think, and this is a good thing in a way, because then you can work all around the world, right? You can get a job at
Yeah,
Marvel by being around the world. However, that also means that your productivity isn't that good because you're not seeing what other people are doing next to you, right?
Yeah,
You're not being challenged because somebody else is doing a better work than you. And I think this is I I think when you're working in a stage where wait, what happened to my letters? I, I just wrote down KISS here and I
yeah. I think
just
they're. I
disappeared.
think they got down the S. I think.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Now I got it. I think I might have just gone and deleted it. But yeah, so when these guys are not next to other very good artists and writers, their work isn't going to get better either because
Yeah.
you need people who are challenging you all the time, like me and you, right? We're online constantly, and so whenever we need to talk to each other, ask questions or think about what we're doing, we're within like a few hours or the next day we get an answer. uh, but when these guys, I mean, how often do they talk to anybody else apart from their work, right? How often do they talk to their editor? Or because like what I see from them is that their work is really bad, which means that they're either not talking to their editor or that their editors don't really care as long as the work comes in on time.
Yeah, yeah. I heard the word like when a project or for example Superman Volume 250 starts, some
Mm.
artists say it's gonna be 9 months of total solitude without talking to anyone.
Wow.
I think that is not the only kind of answer or response you have from the editor is this is okay, this is not, change it, bye. That's all.
Wow.
And it's like for me, it's like for example, our case, you send me a message, hey, what do you think about it? Oh, I think this, and that, and
Yeah,
oh, sorry,
that's all right.
sorry for the bike.
Yeah.
um, and also when I ask something to you, like, hey, what do you think about the, for example, hey, what about the stickers? This is okay, the size, the color, everything, and there's another kind of interaction.
Yeah. But and you need that, right? Because when you're in a creative thing, what one thing that like I've noticed is, because of myself being an artist, right, is that you have self-doubt about what you're doing. So if you send out like a text saying, hey, what do you think? Am I on the right track here or not? Do I need to change something? And because usually, especially when I'm doing color flatting, I will always go back to usually go back to the depending where we at, I will go back to the cover artist and go, hey, is this good for you? Because I might be the color flatter here, but I'm not the artist. I don't, because the artist is going to have his own idea of what he wanted. Unless we're doing like a set characters, right? The artist is going to be like, okay, this is good, this isn't good, and you know, or change the color here because it's not what I was thinking about that would work better. But when you do that with Marvel, if there's nobody there telling you that, then you're just going to do whatever you want, and that is going to be damaging in the long run. And who's going to take the blame for that, right? I don't think anybody's taking any responsibility there at the moment.
Oh yeah, no, I think they are trying to throw everything to the ground. Like, okay, we have all these kind of things. Do whatever you can and try to make everything okay. I think that's
Yeah.
why in the last, I think it's in the last decade, they came up with a lot of spin-off characters and stuff. Like today, you wonder, hey, what happened with this character? What happened with this spin-off?
Mm,
For example, with the time paradox from DC, when Flash travels to the past and changes history,
mm.
I think it was a really good spin-off. They adapt that spin-off to the Flash movie, but after that, it died completely.
Yeah, I think that was the last good crossover that I really enjoyed,
Yeah,
and they should have kept that going for at least 5 years as a storyline. and that would have like really, really worked as a good story, because I think the amount of planning they spent on that, man,
Yeah,
it just made everything. It just made everything friggin' reading wise, made it really worthwhile reading because it was so well written. And you could go on with that each one of those character stories for at least 5 years minimum, but they didn't. They just gave up within like what,
yeah,
12
yeah,
months, 6 months.
yeah. I think for example, the Flashpoint Batman, when Thomas Wayne is Batman and he's like a really is the absolute Batman father for me. It's the real
Mm,
absolute Batman.
yeah,
Um, they made, I think they draw one issue and that's all.
yeah, that was
Uh,
really bad for them to do that.
yeah, there was just one issue. They didn't dig too much in the story, and that's okay. This is you wanted the Flashpoint Batman. Here we go. Bye. Then I think they made the same with the Superman, one or two issues, and that's all.
Mm. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like they just don't like. This is why I stopped reading and buying comics, right? Because I think this is I'm almost going to 2 years now where I stopped caring, because uh, like I would rather read a manga, right, about
Yeah,
someone doing laundry, right?
yeah.
And I posted this yesterday because they were talking about how art is more important in comics than
Oh
writing,
yeah,
and I'm like, you can have that argument you want, but here's the thing: if the story's bad, nobody's ever going to come back for the art, no matter how good the art is, because it's at the end of the day, it's the story that gets people emotionally tied to the characters, not the way the characters look, because appearances change all the time. How many times they changed freaking the character of Spider-Man over the years? You
oh
know,
yeah. Like you have the freaking Spider Verse over there. You have like 1,000 Spider-Mans,
yeah,
and yeah, I saw the Facebook post about Todd McFarlane, and he said, "Oh, I can draw, I can have a comic done by Michelangelo and write it and the script by a dog, and I'm gonna sell it better because the art is more important than the story." It's like I don't agree with that. You have, for example, One Punch Man, the original manga is like if you're gonna be like really if we have to criticize really like professional, the drawing is not
mm,
that good but the story is really good, and
yeah,
and that is what made that One Punch Man get to the anime industry.
yeah. And then also you got like all the cartoon characters like Charlie Brown,
Yeah,
Garfield, Tintin. None of those like look like great, huge, Marvel, DC art, character looking things, but yet they all work because the story makes you wonder about the characters. It's the same as like freaking South Park, man. It was made with pieces of paper, right?
yeah,
You know,
two people doing all the voices and pieces of paper.
yeah. And it became a worldwide phenomenon where now it's basically animations, movies based off paper characters stuck together, right?
Yeah,
And this is why I think a lot of people, they especially artists, they have this inferiority complex. And I saw this thing posted by someone, I'm not sure, from manga person or something, but they said like American artists have a have a have a inferiority complex when it comes to manga, and so they'll go out of the way to make manga look bad because, oh, the art is bad, it's all this. But then, like, why are people reading it then, right? If that's the case, because people don't care about I mean, not as much, right? But they really care about stories. That's why novels sell in the millions, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, John Grisham sells millions. There's no art in that story. In that story, but one thing I noticed when I was reading John Grisham, and I read about at least a dozen of his books over the years, is they're very simple. There is no big, huge technical friggin' things in it. They're very simple. He simplified his formula. Then when you go to read a book by Stephen King, it's also simple, but then you go to somebody else and it's really technical and people don't read it that much. So
Oh
because
yeah.
anybody who's reading a book isn't looking for technicality or special scientific explanations about the amount of asteroids and the gas and all that. They just get they went to the moon and there was this and there was this and then now they get back. You know, very simple because like a lot of times it's entertainment. We don't want to complicate it, but we also don't want it boring either.
Yeah, it had to be that thing I was talking about with my wife a few days ago because she was reading a book and she said nothing happened here, and
Yeah.
it's like if you enter in the uh, for example elitistic literature circle, everybody's gonna say that that book is really amazing because they use this kind of writing to blah 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 blah,
Mm.
but nothing happened in the book, and as you say, you want to be entertained in a certain way. For example, that I think that's why a lot of people get off from reading hard sci-fi because it's not that you're gonna. For example, there's a character who's gonna get into the spaceship. You say, "Oh no, the character opened the gate with the button that activates all the sequences with the nitrogen, and the nitrogen make this kind of reaction." I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to get in the spaceship and go.
I think
And sorry.
carry on. Sorry. No, you carry on.
No, no, also, but when you talk about this sense of inferiority, that some people think that making things more quote unquote realistic are better than making some things more simple. For
Mm.
example, I was hearing I think it was like a tutorial video a few years ago, one girl talking about some manga techniques and everything, and she say, "Oh, if you want to make seinen mangas, for example, Vinland Saga, Berserk, and that kind of things, try to draw the more realistic as possible because seinen is realistic." And it's like, no, not necessarily.
Mm.
For example, I can draw stick figures and make this the most maybe dark and gruesome story ever made.
Yeah. There is no like real, and this is why I think a lot of times people complicate comics and stuff is because they think there's a formula to it all, and at the end of the day, it's what works, and what doesn't, and we all know that just having a good story works, because what was it? I've looked at some really silly, 2D art, like stick figure type art, that's done really well, right? That people have really got behind, and it's made lots of money. I think a little while back, I think it was Lasmat's channel where he showed some really simple drawings that made $100,000 or something for a collection of these guys' comic strips, right? And they
Yeah,
were just like almost like stick figures, very basic designs. And this is why I think a lot of people who come out of like American mainstream comic books, they try to complicate themselves because they have this inferiority complex. So they got to bolster this ego and falsehood about how, comics are this special niche thing that has to be, you have to be this really talented person to be able to draw, when anybody in indies can pick up a pencil and paper and draw a stick figure and write a brilliant story and actually, that people like, right? Because you got to have people liking the story to make it work. So if people don't like that story, it's not going to work, and there's no point putting it out there otherwise.
yeah, and I think also what you say, or I understand that about the ego of being like, oh, I have to make this the best story and everything. Like I think in the mainstream industry they put the for example not officially, but they put the standard of success. For example, you see I don't know Jim Lee, and maybe unconsciously you think, oh, I have to be this good like Jim Lee to be someone in the industry. So I think that there's also that kind of fear that, oh, if I don't be like this good,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna have a chance.
Yeah, I think it definitely is a bit of like I think you know how they said to draw comics the Marvel way. Well, nobody draws comics the Marvel way anymore because they've gotten
Yeah.
people that don't even draw comics the Marvel way, and you can see that in the interior art. It's like all these different styles. Even they've got manga artists, drawing comics for Marvel now, because they've
Yeah.
lost, they're losing money to manga, so they have to bring in manga artists to make comics for Marvel to be able to sell comics anymore.
Yeah, and I think also like they trying to not to open up for the ideas, because they are like really strict that, oh no, this is I think it's the old battle of this is comic, this is manga, and we are not gonna do this because we are comic writers and comic artists, and this is manga. And I think they want to break the, how you call it,
Well, it's not profitable
the
for them
legacy.
to. It's not profitable for them to actually, uh, you know, uh, be different from manga anymore because manga is doing so friggin' well, you know. And if they go out of their way to put down manga and not do manga, they're basically cutting out millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars out of their own pocket by sticking to just the Marvel way, and they know that, right? They know that they're
Yeah.
losing money because by just doing the Marvel way, and that because people aren't buying the Marvel comics the Marvel way, so they have to do manga, and they have to bring in manga artists to work with them.
Yeah, and I think that's why a few years ago, I don't know if you remember, I think it was 2012 when they started to making the Wolverine anime, Iron Man anime. I think they tried to bought people with that kind of things, that they made
Mm,
like, it wasn't really, the X-Men anime also was like really good idea, but also happened the same thing, like, oh, we're gonna do one season and that's all.
yeah,
And now, for example, I saw a Batman manga made in Japan, made exclusively for people who write and draw in the manga style,
yeah.
and was
With
like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah, they did that with that anime Hit Monkey, right? They made it based in Japan and everything. Because I never read the actual, never actually knew about it, the comic book for Deadpool, Hit Monkey. But then they produced the anime and it was really good.
Yeah,
I remember watching the first episode. I was like, oh, a season, and I was like, yeah, this is really good. But I never went back for the second one because I just thought like the first one was a complete story. There was no need for a second one. But I think they thought, well, it did so well. Let's go back out and make more money, right?
yeah,
And that's the thing. They once they find something that works, they keep doing it, but they don't realize that by doing that, what they're doing is that they're actually taking away the excitement for the original work, and just copy pasting it into like stretching out a story that's already done. So that's why I didn't go back for it. Let me see if it was two seasons. Hit Monkey.
yeah, yeah. And also I remember like I don't know if, for example, like, which character is, yeah,
Yeah,
Penny Parker from the Spider Verse. I don't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't have like a TV show or a manga or a spin-off. I think she doesn't have that kind of thing. I was like, why they didn't use that kind of example? Because it's like this college, high school girl with a robot.
I haven't read those ones. So what was the story about that? Like she's a high school girl with robots.
Yeah, it's like from the Spider Verse. She appears in the first movie, and it's like this alternate version that she has like a robot like spider, and it's like I don't know. It's like Evangelion. Sometimes she gets in the robot and fights against something
All right,
else.
she's got a
But
mecha.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
but not like the big mecha. It's like maybe more big than a normal person. That's all.
So this is the hit Monkey TV show, right? So it came out in 2021 and it has 20 episodes, which means that 2 seasons. So like 10 episodes a season. And I only watched the first season because I was like, well, I don't, season 1 was enough for me because it was a good story, right? And it worked. But like then they started doing the season 2. Like I said, I didn't go back to watch it. But it is the anime was done really well. Really enjoyed the whole idea of it, and that was done on Hulu, and they shut down Hulu, by the way, and so everything now is on Disney, and I think that's probably why they didn't continue that.
Oh, they shut down Hulu?
I think so. Or actually, Disney bought it out.
Oh, okay.
Because because I think Hulu back then was its own thing.
Oh,
and so
yeah.
so Hulu created this, but now Disney, wants everything under Disney. So anything Marvel has to go on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, so
Sorry.
carry on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that I was thinking Disney wants everything. Like a few days ago, I wanted to watch the X Files, and I was asking my friends, like, "Yeah, where can I watch it? Disney Plus." Oh, really? Like, come on.
Yeah, because they own 20th Century Fox, right? So they own that entire everything that Fox made now is owned by Disney because they bought them out. So this is the Platinum and show that I've never seen this trailer, or I haven't even seen the series.
いない友達も生きることは辛いだけでこの先希望も何にもない天使
私はナッセ未来君だけの天使新しい神様にふさわしい人を選ぶの
俺は死んで全部終わるはずだったのになんだこれ
天使の矢で殺せばいいよ
こんな簡単に人が死ぬ
素敵でしょ私は未来君を幸せにするために来たんだもん
Always with the screaming.
Yeah, always. The extreme to the. They are really good at maybe doing dramatic things. Yeah.
So let me look up the. So that came out in 2021. So 21, 22. It's got. Here we go. Let me just bring that up.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, I think I don't even know what the story was about. Right. So when life becomes too much for Mirai to bear and attempts taking his own life, he's saved by Nasi, a guardian angel who offers him a chance at becoming the new god. To do so, he must face off against 12 other candidates within 999 days. So, yeah, I don't remember actually watching that or actually watching this episode of, but usually I have my rating here if I've seen it. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, yeah. See, I haven't finished it, so I've only watched about 5 episodes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that must have been a while back, but maybe 21. 5-6 years ago when it first came out.
Yeah. Well, but it's finished or it's ongoing. They have to keep
No,
going.
it's finished. It's
Okay.
finished 24 episodes, so maybe 2 seasons,
Okay, cool.
or maybe one big huge season. No, just one big huge season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like One Piece now. They cut the. They're gonna do one season per year.
Right. Well, this is with the live action.
No, with the anime, they
Oh, okay.
they ended up they ended up the continuous work of making one episode each week, so they cut it out.
Yeah.
Some people say, "Oh, they gave Toei Animation people human rights to rest." Yeah. Poor
Well, I
people.
mean, yeah, they got to do so much work, man. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes for Attack on Titan final season. They showed the staff working, and there was one animator with purple and gray eyes.
yeah,
With you saw his face, and you can say that guy is dead inside. He hasn't slept for what, 1 week, 2 weeks.
mm, man. Yeah, that's why I say, like, American, American comic book creators probably just wouldn't be able to hack it. And sadly, I mean, in a sense that I actually wish that that the workload would be at least similar to the American standard, so they're not working to the grave, right, or poor
Yeah.
health, and actually getting paid better as well. But I don't really like the whole weekly thing. I think bi-weekly uploads should be enough. But I think because of decades of a standard they've put in there, it's hard for them to escape that now because they've already you know kind of like made the reader accept this is the way it is. Every week you should have a chapter up, and that's kind of sad because it's not really helping anyone.
Yeah, no, not at all. And it's how much people or good artists have died or even left the industry because of health issues.
Yeah, but that's what happens. People become very greedy once you give them set a standard. They don't want to let go of that once they have that, right? So I just feel like
Yeah,
it's they kind of like gave too much to the readers, and now the readers want it all the time.
yeah,
It's like
even
it's like fast food, right? You gotta show up on Monday and get your chapter, and if it isn't, then you're gonna go and follow some other thing, right?
yeah, and also I think they take all the freedom to the artists because now, for example, if you want, I hear a lot about when in Naruto Shippuden when they kill Hinata. And I think this is like the tale everybody tells
Mm,
in the circle. Like the author wanted to kill certain characters and not make them coming back. They are dead and that's all. And there was this big mob of readers saying, "Oh, if you kill this character, I'm not gonna read your manga anymore because I like this character and I wanted this character to make out with this other character with this other character. So if you don't fix this scene, I'm gonna, for example, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna find you and kill you." And
that's
there are
disgusting, man.
yeah, there are like a lot of manga artists that they have to go back on their steps, rewrite some scenes to make the readers more like happy with their own imagination.
Yeah, I think I would never let anybody dictate how I write and what I should do in the story. That's why, like, I don't like doing continuous stories. The most, like, I've written a lot of continuous stuff, but we haven't produced them yet, or aren't even working on them. But like, once you do your story, you got to end it, right? the problem is with these
Yeah.
with the following of like these fans who are like just over the top weebs, right? That they just
Yeah.
can't that it's don't want they get a favorite character and they don't want anything to happen to them. It's like, well, they're not your characters in the first place, and I guess in a sense it's like, well, any I guess you know um, Marvel and all those can say the same thing, but in the end, when it comes to manga, they are those guys' characters. They're the ones who actually created it. They're the one who've been writing it. It's not like 10,000 other people that have been working on it, like in Marvel or DC. And that's why I think I really feel bad for I sad for manga creators on that side of things when it comes to people behaving like that, because it's not really conducive to their creativity to have somebody dictate to them what should and what they can't do with their characters, right? Because they should be able to do whatever they want with their characters because it's their characters and it's their story to tell, not the reader. And the reader shouldn't be at that stage. It's not the same as when Marvel, right? When they change the characters' sexuality or politics or you know or behavior over like after 80 years or something. And because in this case with manga, it's just those guys creating their own stories, and these fans think that they have rights to the writer or the artist telling their story the way they are. And I think that will, in a way, is what's going to harm manga than anything else, is with overprivileged, egotistical fans than anything else.
Yeah, because for example, the most extreme case was like the guy that burned anime studio.
Yeah,
That kind of craziness, like that's the worst thing. And I remember like for example, you have finished My Hero Academia.
yeah,
Yeah, for example, with the death of Bakugo, there was like oh my god, a lot of people say no, you killed Bakugo, no, I gotta kill you. And I think the author really the artist, the writer, he really
mm,
wanted to kill Bakugo, and because of all the all the readers with got angry with him, he has to make an excuse to, oh no, because now there's a hero who's gonna help him to come back from the dead and blah blah blah, etc etc, and was like really like that. It's really bad when someone has to make a change because someone says, oh, I don't like it
yeah,
when you kill or make this thing to this character. It's
yeah,
like for example, if you, for example, I don't know, in Credit Girl, you kill one character or that I like, maybe I say, "Oh, I like that character." Well, I'm gonna continue reading, or maybe not.
mm,
That's easy. If you're not interested in continuing the story after that character died,
mm.
then stop reading. You don't have to go in a manhunt to kill the
Yeah,
artist or kill the writer.
yeah. But this is why I think, like, they've allowed manga fans, anime fans, too much privilege and room to be able to say these things, right? Instead of saying, well, hey, it's a friggin' story. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, move on. And it's not the same. And people say, well, why can't you say that about comics either? Well, it's different. Manga is totally different. It's just got one person or two people, right, working on it. It's not an entire team over decades writing on it. So, when you say stuff like that, it's actually, uh, you're saying it to a single person who, and I think this is why I think this is how manga will die, is with privileged fans, right? Overprivileged fans thinking that they own the story, they own the characters, over the artists and the writer owning it.
Yeah, I really, it's like this. Uh, weird fight on who is the real fan here. Like, oh no, I am, for example, I don't remember, like a female character, like I don't know, I'm the Sailor Moon #1 character, and everybody fights about that. It's like
Mm.
it's not gonna be like someone is gonna give you a prize because you are the most loyal character to the most loyal reader to one character,
Right.
and let it be. That's all.
What was the other thing? I was thinking like, yeah, I can't remember. I had a thought, but I forgot it now. So, what am I doing here? Give me 1 second. There we go. Get me, because I'm almost done with this. So, but I realized, oh no, it's not that. I just remember that like I got to do this outline for this character, but when I did it, it came up with this. It didn't come out right, like the way it should have. Like, it was too many lines around it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it got spotty. So the white line got. So if you look over here, right? So watch what happens when I
Oh yeah, I see.
do this. So it started getting like lumpy like this.
Oh
It was
yeah.
just, yeah. Whereas now it's nice and clean, but before it was just lumpy, and so that's why I had to redo this just now, because I already did it and now I've got to redo it. So there you go. Now it's not lumpy anymore. Now it's, straight lines. So I was trying to figure out how to make this here, but I think this is all I'm going to have to do with this. There isn't much I can do here with this. With
No, I
with
think it's okay.
yeah. So I'll just leave it like this. So I think this is all I had going into this. Let me see. I've got 5 designs, so we can get rid of that. Now, what is the other design? Oh yeah, there's a second Marlowe. So I'll show you all of them. Marlowe 2.
It looks so cool.
Yeah, so this is this one.
Ah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I like the color.
So yeah, so this is the normal color for friggin'. I thought I might go lighter, but I thought you might want to go lighter with the highlights. Same with this.
Okay.
Rather than going darker, go lighter with the highlights. And then you got the letters. I think this might be just okay on its own.
Yeah.
And maybe this one as well, because it's got too much colors. But this one, and this one needs highlights.
Yeah. I think one layer of shading is going to be okay.
All right, so that's it for us today on the stream. But thank you, Tomas, for coming on and chatting about manga and comics and this artwork. Did a good job on this, man.
Yeah, thank you. And sorry for the late arrival. So I was like,
oh, no worries.
So.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't even supposed to stream, so I had nothing, I thought I might as well do something while I'm working. All right, thank you, man. We'll catch you in the next one, eh?
Yeah, sure, no problem. Thank you. You're going to be waiting for the next episode.
I'll send this across to you soon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. Bye, mate.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll catch you in the next stream. I think it's on Friday with Tim. Wherever you are, be well, be safe, and catch you on the flip side. Kakite ano. Bye for now.
Nope. Can't stay here anymore. I gotta get back. I think this was the spot. Oh Lord, I beseech thee, please return me to my old life. I swear I'll do anything. Like, literally anything. And I won't bother you again, so pretty please bring me back to life.